India is expecting coronavirus inoculations to begin next month. Approval for vaccine candidates is due within weeks. Let's stay on this topic and get a closer look at India and China's vaccination plans with Dr. Leong Hoe Nam from the Rophi Clinic at Mount Elizabeth Novena Specialist Centre here in Singapore. Now, Dr. Leong, we've just heard a little there about China and India's massive plans for vaccination. Many countries with eyes on how it goes. What do you see as the immediate challenges?
Big country, many people, big challenges. That's the answer I'm going to give you. You have about 1.4 billion people per country, with slightly more in China than India. Now, and you must understand the vast area there is. And the vaccines, we heard about the -70s. The good news is they are going to go into the 2 to 8, which is manufactured in India and China. Large countries, do they have the networks to go all the way there? Do they have the ability to manufacture 1.4 billion at one go and then delivering all within 1 year? As you realize, they can only manufacture about a few 100 million at most. So hitting the 1.4 billion may be a little bit of an issue.
Well, both countries already have some experience with mass immunization programs, so that's on the plus side. What lessons can other countries learn from them?
Well, they are not the India and China which we know of 10 years ago. They have improved in the vaccinations and they have good rollout and networks. They can certainly tap on them. However, there have been criticisms on the internet about how good these fridges are. As you realize, these are, after all, vaccines. You keep them out of the fridge for too long, they will expire. They do not have the stringent requirements of the Pfizer, Moderna, of -70 and -20, but they still must be kept cold. Can India and China get it all done? Number two, India, with the queues of people which you have, would you actually end up as a COVID distribution center rather than a vaccine distribution center? Could you end up transmitting the infections? China has it slightly better. Everyone has an app. With the app, you decide when you go and where you go for the vaccinations. So everything can be a little bit coordinated. So I guess coming out of the vaccine is one thing, but delivering it to the masses right at the end is going to be really challenging. Now, China and India do have the resources to do it, including the vaccines. I truly question other countries that do not have the resources, do not have the vaccines, and not even ready for the basic rollout of the vaccine network.
Yeah, so you mentioned all those issues, the cold chain, the actual distribution structure. But then again, as you said, they have their homegrown vaccines. Is this going to offset some of the concerns that you expressed and affect the rollout positively?
Absolutely. It's going to help a lot. For one, the vaccines which they are using can be suited for 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, which makes it more bearable. You find a fridge, even a kitchen fridge, which you have at home, and that will be able to hold the vaccines. So going forward, that's a big plus point for them, and I expect them to use a lot more of their homegrown vaccines rather than what's been offered to the world now in terms of Pfizer and Moderna.
Dr. Leong, are you optimistic that the Asian region where we are, is on track to beat the coronavirus?
Honestly, no. I think it is one thing to actually have the vaccines. The second thing, to actually roll it out. We do not have a good network of vaccine distributions in the region. Perhaps Singapore is fine, but if you actually look at the childhood vaccination programs all around the region, it has been very patchwork. If you live in the big capital cities, you will be able to get them. But if you actually try to do it out in the peripheral cities, out in the rural areas, you're going to have a massive problem. This is why we still have measles outbreak, pertussis outbreak, and mind you, even diphtheria, a condition which I've not seen as a doctor in Singapore, still exists in all the neighboring countries, South Asia as well. So it really calls to question if the system of the neighboring countries can actually do this rollout. Honestly, it's very easy to give the order from the politicians and from the government, but taking the vaccine to the right individual, right at the end of the network, there's going to still be a bit of challenge. Things have improved, no doubt, but it's still going to be a massive challenge.